D-Draw Decks, and this is another deck profile with, you can say your name.
Nick Ridsdale.
Yeah, he's actually good.
Lies.
What deck are you playing and what did you do?
It's Odd Eyes Pendulum, and I came
Yeah.
first at our prestigious local.
That's another joke as well. So do you want to get right into it, or do you want to talk about anything? Or?
I'll just get right into it.
Okay.
So we start with Darkworm
Yep.
and 2-0. 2-0 is nice because there are plenty of times when you're going to draw the one, and then again an extra search helps fin the deck more, and there's a few cards later that help from it. Standard numbers. Then, obvious for any kind of Pendulum deck is the Chronographs and the Time Gazer.
Yeah.
Standard.
Is it jokingly a turbo card?
Jokingly, you get that Time Gazer brick out of your deck. And then we come to the main boys.
The two of want to sees.
The ones you want to see. The Odd Eyes collection.
Persona's like literally you can't see its effect.
How's that? But yeah, so...
Like literally this is the bottom.
Yeah, how's that? Is that much better?
Yeah, that's much better.
Okay,
We've got to
so-
get best content.
So obviously 3 of Persona because of its on-field effect to just basically negate anything special from the extract. Arc Pendulum because it just pluses and it's the biggest 8 scale in the deck.
So I was about to like get my lid on.
Yeah.
And then 2 of each of these because with Phantom he either does burn if he manages to do battle damage while you have scales as a monster, or he's able to give in the scale any of your monsters an extra 12 boost whether it's being attacked or attacked. And then OTK with the original Odd Eyes Pendulum, just double battle damage, which is really good with the Underclock Taker. And then the last one-offs for the deck. Lancer's a bit of a brick at times, but getting it out off of Arc Pendulum is really good because it helps protect any Odd Eyes card on the field. And then if they're going to try and destroy stuff, you just basically Odd Eyes Lancer, pop a different Odd Eyes, sets off Arc Pendulum as well to get another Odd Eyes on the field and go from there. And then these 2 bad boys, that's the way to get Synchros, and that's the extra ways to get the fusions because Vortex is busted and now Boral Savage is really good. And then with that, the spells,
So not budget then.
not budget really.
Relative.
No hand traps because it's just it's budget with a it's budget to a degree. Foolish and 2 shrines for the Darkworms.
What?
And
Why?
1 off for Odd Eyes Fusion if you're stuck going second, and it's another thing to search off of Sky Iris. An easy Vortex if your opponent builds one. 2 Alliance, you can always drop down to 1.
You want to see it sometimes.
Sometimes,
but
all the
not
time, but
times.
it's really nice because it gets you Odd Eyes, it gets you Arc Pendulum, and it can also get a couple of other things, but I think that's mainly it. It's just mainly Odd Eyes or Arc Pendulum because you need to see Arc Pendulum.
We have the new twin and Raigeki.
How dare you, they're actually playable.
I know.
Turn 1 playable. Can't say that for the Raigeki. 2 Summoner's Art because you really want to see Arc Pendulum. It's like,
Stop baiting the gates.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
With the amount of stuff you can bait negates with, it's ridiculous.
That's what I hate.
Then triple Skyrus and 1
Stop making the
One terraforming. Skyrus is a really good card for the deck, but the only problem is if you see multiples, it is terrible because it's a hard once per turn. So if it gets ghosted, ashed, or whatever, it's practically dead. It does protect your scales from being targeted, but it is still much a brick after that.
Why do you play 1 terraforming and not 2?
Because the thing is, it's just not really much.
He's preparing for the next list when it gets limited.
Alright.
Big
But
brain.
the thing is, you want to see it,
Says the guy who just bought
but you
Battle
don't
Pass.
like.
Yeah.
2 terraforming I found has come up where it's like I've got 2 terraforming, I just search multiple copies and nothing's happened and they're just dead cards. If stuff does happen to one, you still have to wait a turn to do another, and so it's just like there's better cards to play.
Yeah.
And obviously it means if you get even if you just have Skyrus and you play it and it gets ashed, so it doesn't really matter in that sense. It's not the biggest in the world. And then triple Spiral Flare.
Yeah.
Of Spiral Flame, because
Yeah.
this is also another Ash bait, but it's also just not once per turn. So you're like, I want to search any level 7 Odd Eyes. And sometimes if you've got an Odd Eyes on the field, you can use it to target and pop a card instead. But just basically another way to get Arc, and if you've already got Arc, then just any other of the level 7s.
Is that all for the spells, or last?
One last little lot, and that's just Triple Alert, because everything in here is practically dark apart from one card, I think, which is Lancer, possibly another, but everything's dark, everything's in multiples, you can easily just get rid of something extra, like a spare Dark Worm in hand or a spare Gate.
Is there anything you would change with the main deck?
I don't think there really is much. The only thing really you could change is perhaps play an Odd Eyes Mirage, who's a level 3, because next to nearly all the rest of the Odd Eyes cards, apart from say Synchron, are normal summonable. Just all the rest from Persona onwards are just level 5 or higher, and there will be times where it's like, oh, I just need to normal summon an Odd Eyes to get into like Electromite and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
With
Mirage is an 8 scale, which conflicts with Arc Pendulum because you always want Arc Pendulum, and Mirage is just as much a brick, which all you say is, ooh, normal summon, that's a hit. Searchable, but
So with the extra deck or side deck next?
extra deck.
Okay.
So we start with the links,
Yeah.
and then this is the not budget.
Oh.
You don't have to play
Okay,
this.
so 1 minute. Budget.
Budget,
Not
budget. But this could be a different link or a different. But basically, thanks to Odd Eyes Pendulum being able to do double battle damage, you can just OTK people with this. Since whatever you just stick Odd Eyes there or something, 2/5 to 2/7 off, all 3,000 with Lancer, hit them with Odd Eyes Pendulum, 5k straight away. Apprentice is just an extra link too, in case like Electromite's gone or you just need the zones or whatever. And then obviously Electromite, because it's a Pendulum deck. And Zephyr Metaltron, again, Pendulum. And then Borrow Sword, because there's going to be times we can get it out. And it's Borrow Sword.
It's busted.
It wins games. And especially in here when you've got things like Odd Eyes that can do double damage. So just do double damage, stick it to defense and get the double attack from it. Then some Exceeds.
Some negates.
This is obviously for if you got double Chronograph. So I don't think there's any other level 6s in here but Chronograph. So there's no reason not to play
Yep.
Naruto. And then just some 7s. This is the obvious thing for Vortex, and then just a couple of nice flavoured 7s.
Yeah.
Because that's still burn for games, and then just steal stuff.
So basically, time, steal, negate.
Yeah.
You got
There's-
your toolbox.
Yeah, it's just a little toolbox. And most of the Odd Eye stuff, like Arc, Phantom, and Pendulum, are 7s. So there's tons of 7s to go to. And then Synchros. So, Meteor Burst you can make, but it's mainly for Odd Eyes Fusion.
Yeah.
As fuel for that. Because the only way you can make Meteor Burst near is with the Synchron, Odd Eye Synchron, and his name, Persona, yeah. Because it's a 2 and a 5. These two, what you have to do is basically you need to have Persona, what's the name? Synchron in the scale to turn one of the Odd Eyes into a level 1 tuner, and then any level 7, and then turns to these two. Borrow Savage because it's really good, and if you do the play with Electromite into Zephyr Metaltron into Vortex and stuff, you've got Electromite in the grave, so there's the link too for that. 3/9, 2 negates. And people sleep on the Supreme King dragons, but Clearwing is just so good. Just basically summon it, Raigeki. And if not, attack into something, auto pop, and then do burn. And then it also works if they try and attack it. So you just go, okay, you try and attack, blow up and burn.
That's pretty good.
It's not bad at all. And it,
Just you got your toolboxes.
it's just toolbox, yeah. And then lastly, Vortex. 2 Vortex because
But
we've
have
got
to be open.
yeah, because 2 Vortex, obviously. Because we've got 3 ways to make it. There's the usual play with Absolute into Zephyr Metaltron. There's also Odd Eyes Fusion and Perform Pal Dissolver to get into it. And with Dissolver, it also allows access to Gatling Ghoul because it's a Performer Pal. And Gatling Ghoul's really nice as a burn.
Yeah,
It'll
well,
do.
well, I would like to ask, what does Gatling Ghoul do? Because
What's Gatling Ghoul?
I think this is like a one card that like no one knows.
It's really underappreciated. When it's fusion summoned, it just does 200 damage to your opponent for each card on the field.
Yeah.
So already that just burn, just some burn. So another thing for time. Then, if it was made, it has a very thing. Yeah. If it was made using a pendulum monster as material, you can then destroy a monster on the field. Yep. Doesn't target. So if it's got target immunity, this gets past it.
Well, that's
Blow
the
it up.
surprise Gatling.
Yeah, blows it up and then does damage equal to its attack. And I think it does its attack on the field. Oh, original attack. But yeah, but basically it's a nice burn option. and there's no reason not to. And that's that for the extra. I don't think there's much you can really change for the extra. I mean, there's obviously like Savage Dragon and Borrow Sword could always be changed if your budget to a degree.
What would you change them to if you were going budget?
If going budget, obviously Savage could be a different level 8 synchro. Anything will do really, like perhaps Scarlight you can go for, whatever.
Would you say Borrow Sword would be a borrow load maybe?
Go down a peg for budget, and then it could be another synchro if you wanted, it could be another Exceed, or it could be another Link, but basically anything's good.
Yeah.
It just won't be Borrow Sword, unfortunately.
Be
And
the good thing.
sides a little bit here and there, because it's a bit thing. Pair of Gamma Seals.
Side's always personal preference.
Yeah, it's just a thing. So Gamma Seals because Kaijus take out unaffected things or big guys. This is my favourite one. I should play a second one of this, but Sloth.
I don't like you.
Sloth. While it's on the field, neither player can special from the extra deck.
It's like Goliath, I believe.
Yeah, Goliath. Goliath's usually used more because of dragons and that, but Sloth's got a little nice spot that people don't really actually play in Pendulum so much, even though all you would need is basically you Electromite, send it to the extra deck, then Pendulum it out. And it's basically, because the scales are always going to be able to do 6, unless you're really bad at placing. And it's just like basically stick them on the field, cool. And even if you have like Phantom up, you'll be able to give him an extra 12 attack. So unless they blow it by an effect, he's basically sitting there.
He's here to stay.
Yeah, and thanks, like I said, to Electromite, you could just play the 1 and just send it to the extra every time. Then a couple of Pankatrops.
Standard.
I probably should play 3
I want to
because
see it sometimes, but that's all.
I should probably play 3 because Anti-Spell cripples this deck.
Really? I didn't notice.
Really, Pendulums, yeah, Anti-Spell, yeah, but basically Floodgates and stuff like that should be dealt with. Pair of Cosmic Cyclones, just for some spell and trap removal on top. And you can't really discard much in this deck, so Twin Twisters isn't really an option.
MST negate though?
Cosmic Cyclone negate.
True. Better MST.
Then another thing I like for Odd Eyes Pendulums, which Pendulum Magicians I don't think can get away with just as well, but Odd Eyes do it better, is this bad boy now.
Oh.
This bad boy now.
I think everyone knows this.
Phantom, Arc, and the original Odd Eyes, they're all darks with more than 2/5 or more attack. So basically, this can cripple a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, all you would need, at worst, you just Scales, get an Odd Eyes out, set, and you can just blow out.
It's just against like Striker or
Yeah.
anything that runs spell or trap.
To which, if you're able to go first against Striker Old guys with this, it means you might win the matchup where you probably wouldn't have before, at all. And then Triple D Barrier. This still got some nice uses, and also
Commons.
budget.
Go,
We want budget. We want some
we
budget.
want budget. How many old please?
But yeah, D Barrier because it's just still nice against a few things.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really think of other stuff to put in. And then lastly, because another part of a not budget, it just evenly matches because it's evenly matched.
But if you say it's evenly matched, what does it do?
What does it do? Well,
It wins games.
it can win games. It also quite helps because, like I said, there's very few cards in here that can do take out multiple cards or advantage so much. So this is just basically very helpful. Although since it is a Pendulum deck, it does lose a lot of worth after turn 1 or whatever if you have to set Scales or Skyrus and stuff. But people will probably try and get rid of your Scales, get rid of those things, so this can still come up. But like I said, it's evenly matched. There's no reason not to.
Yeah. So, time for the memes.
Time for the memes, you say?
No. Any shout-outs?
I'd like to shout out to my friends here right now. A shout out to Lloyd.
Yeah. Does anybody want their face in or no? No one wants to be known.
No identification.
No identification. You'll never know where we live.
Indeed. And shout out to
Newport.
Finch, right in front of me, the maverick that he is.
No one knows my name yet. This is my name reveal now.
Ooh.
Don't hit my hat.
Well, there you go then.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's another video. I will see you guys in the next.